Ja, Kristin heter jag och jag ska ta det på engelska som man sa. So I'm going to talk about when you make a choice, you change the future. And that's kind of my big passion, why people do what they do. So, as I say, my biggest passion is people's stories and why people do what they do. And it's begun long time ago. And I had pictures of people in frames, and I imagined how the life was and why they did what they did. And I even collected memorials of people who died young. And I imagined what they could have done, because the people in memorials, they always are change makers. And at that time, really early on, I had a favorite poem. And the first line in the poem is, "One smile can change darkness into daylight." And that kind of has been the red thread in my life ever since. And the poem is about how small things can make a big difference. Steve Jobs is a really inspirational person. But even though he has done great things, he got fired from his own company by the age of 30. And later on, he said that that was the best thing that ever happened to him. And as it turns out, those things that just come to us unexpected and are really difficult are the things that change the world, because when people go through it, they develop, they grow, and often they do it again and again, it happens, but they grow more, and that's the people who change the world. But I want to give you an idea of how people's choices actually can change the world to the better or worse. Exactly 12 years ago, something happened in New York. There was a terrorist attack, as you all know. And there was one man who had the power to make a big change. And his reactions was to meet these unexpected changes with hate and revenge. And that cost the billions of people life after the war in Iraq. 2 years ago, there was also a terrorist attack in another country, Norway. Jens Stoltenberg decided to react totally in the opposite, to meet hate with love, and said that if one person can create so much hate, imagine how much you can change with people when you love together. So this summer, I met with 5 Icelandic women, not Björk though, she's on my to-do list. And they have inspired me, and they have inspired me in a way that they were standing in like a huge challenge, but they decided to make a choice and take it. This girl is called Inga Björk. She's 19 years old, and she has a disease, so her muscles doesn't work. They're like draining, and it happens day by day. Already now, she made a choice. I'm not going to let this stop me. So she's 19 years old, and she has finished college. She has finished her first year of university. She plays in a band. She's working for the national TV in Iceland. And there's just like nothing that stops her, and he has the future ahead of her. There's also another girl. She is... now it's just a long one. This is Vilborg Arna. She told me that she used to be this hopeless case. She dropped out of school 3 times and no one believed in her. It wasn't until about 10 years ago that she conquered her first mountain. It was Hvannadalshnjúkur, the biggest mountain in Iceland, and she knew that time that this is what she was going to do. Last year, she was the first girl who cross-country skied to the South Pole alone. And now she is climbing the highest mountain in every continent. And she told me privately that she is not going to stop there. She is going to set a world record, but I can't say it because she won't announce it until she has climbed Everest. This girl, Freya, she's 27 years old, and she has a disease, was born with that disease, that her bones break really easily. So she has been in a wheel bed actually all her life. And she used to be hiding behind the curtain, trying not to make problems because she was told she was expensive for the system. She went to a conference in the US, and someone said she was there amongst architects and people who had family who were in the same situation as she was. Someone said, if you want to be treated first class, you have to behave first class. And now she's a CEO of a company in Iceland, run his own business, and is really active in politics. This girl is amazing, Hlédís. She used to run her own business, and she was in a relationship, but she told me she broke up, and she should have gone home, eat a lot of ice cream, and cry. But she went out, got pregnant by the guy who owned the house she rented for the company. She got kicked out of the company. And in a couple of months, she was a single mom with no money. And there was a doctor mistake when she got the baby. And she got to know 2 weeks ago that her daughter is almost blind. But she met with this with such a great attitude that she feels like the richest person in the world. This woman I met too, Vigdís Finnbogadóttir, she is the first female president in the world. And her choice, and she actually said, this was not my choice. People just believed in me and what I could do. And said, when I had said yes to this challenge, I went home and I vacuumed the whole house the whole night. I was so scared. And she said, I'm going to call them and say I can't do it. And when she called, she said, you can't quit. They're coming to you in 2 hours. Like, go and do your hair. So she said, okay, I'm going to accept this challenge. And that's it. So what happens when you have the courage to meet the unexpected and the really difficult one? You go to places that you never imagined ever to be able to go to. You experience something that's incredible, and it's something that like you never ever could imagine. So what I just want to say is that you have the power to make a choice that can change your future and other people's future. And this man, Nick, is, I think, a great example. He's born without legs and he's born without hands. He's a great inspiration for millions of people. He has a wife, a beautiful wife and a kid. And he has learned to swim, or surf, like everything. So you have to check him out. Thank you.